Rapid City police are on the lookout for several suspects following 5 shootings in the last week.
In the last few years, the Rapid City Police Department has seen an uptick in violent crimes.
Dude basically said, hey, I'm coming back. I'm shooting up this whole show. I had to pick my brother up after he got shot, you know?
I never planned to be 50 years old, ever.
Who the fuck is gangbanging in South Dakota? What the fuck even is South Dakota?
I thought I would be passed away way before that, you know?
My daughter, supposedly she was accidentally shot by another guy there with a gun.
In South Dakota? I'm sorry, I understand every place.
South Dakota,
bro, trust me. Every spot got their own gangs, their own problems. We just saw, I watched a video. Whoever's in here. We just saw, you feel me, Cleveland's problem with the Haitians and shit, eating their cats and gooses and all that shit. Well, who the fuck is gangbanging in South Dakota?
And that's up for debate.
On some real shit.
It actually ranks somewhere in the middle, and it's more dangerous than states like Kentucky, Florida, and Illinois. Now, for most South Dakota citizens,
South Dakota more dangerous than Florida? I don't think so. I don't know. Them Florida niggas. Like, bro, Jacksonville by itself clears out half of the fucking U.S. I don't care what nobody say. Jacksonville by itself. One more time. Jacksonville by itself is goddamn war zone. Alright, I guess.
but if you are a Native American man, it's a different story altogether. You see, Rapid City is South Dakota's most dangerous city, and Pine Ridge is the most dangerous reservation. And together, these two share kind of a strange relationship. It's kind of like Chicago and Rockford, where you have gangsters going back and forth to flee from the law. And in Rapid City, shooting has been on the rise, and most of it is tied to Native gang activity. And here's another interesting fact about South Dakota. It is arguably the most incarcerated state in the country. Some estimates say that up to 7 out of 10 Native men will serve at least once in jail or prison. And although Natives make up only 9% of the state population, they make up nearly half of the prison and jail population. To investigate this further, we head to Rapid City and we dig into the trends of violence and incarceration. We meet with guys like Eric, a man who has served decades in prison and now is out advocating for stuff. Vinny, a local rapper whose brother was killed at
Jacksonville and Miami by itself.
Into the mud, we make a stop at a local traffic.
That's all I'm gonna say. I don't see them beating those two.
Quick announcement, folks.
I guess South Dakota said. I just never heard.
In the front, big
I don't know.
First, to get your hands on this shirt, link is in the description, and rep the channel. And now, back to the video.
Oh, okay. Then where you from, bro? Where you from? I'm from Florida, so that's why I'm just saying, like, when they're saying South Dakota,
I see these young men, I see potential.
Oh, Germany, that's hard.
That they could become, and I see the game.
How y'all doing out there, bro? Especially with all the stuff going on in the world. I know, like,
what needs to happen?
Russia's on with their own shit, but like,
I want to be an
how's it out there?
I want to run my own landscaping business.
I hope you're being safe out there.
Somebody that's a lot like me that just happens to live in a slightly different part of my neighborhood.
This world's getting crazy.
I don't know if we'll ever find that answer, but that's part of the discovery that we're on this channel. We're gonna dive into the most dangerous city in South Dakota. Buckle up, it's gonna be a ride. That's where we are right now.
We in Lakota Homes right now. This deep north, you know what I'm saying? Deep north side. It's a little dilapidated, etc. But there's a lot of love in the area. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just reacting to Tommy G right now.
The world over here, you know? Because it's like, even though we're so close to everything else, you can go right down the street and see business districts and shit like that.
Is it cold out there?
It's its own entity over here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what goes down around here?
Drugs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, and the dealings that come with that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? As far as robberies, as far as, you know what I'm saying, killing.
You can have weapons. Bro. You gotta understand. America is not as sweet as people think. Cause look, in our you have weapons in Germany, you go straight. Dead ass? Really? If you have weapons in Germany, you go straight. Damn. Like, are you guys gun laws that strict? Oh wow, I never knew. I know like other countries are more stricter than others, but damn, you guys like what's your guys' law like? Do you guys like say if somebody trying to rob you, like they have a knife out on you and all this? What exactly do you do? Because in America, somebody rob you with a blick and you don't got one, you just got to give up your shit. I ain't gonna lie, you're not winning that fight. like, I'm sorry, but you're not winning that fight. You're not winning that fight. Not one bit. Not one bit. But, you know.
Weed and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Somebody die over it. So it's like.
Do you guys know someone that have died over an ounce of weed?
There's a quad, bro.
Yes.
Over an ounce of weed?
7 grams.
It wasn't
7 grams.
an ounce, it was a couple.
A quad,
It was like
dude?
5
Do you
Yeah.
guys call it a quad around here?
Yeah. yeah.
I picked up many of quads in my day. Never have I ever thought about I was going to die over it.
Dude didn't expect that night either, you know what I'm saying? I went to prison for possession of marijuana. It was my first charge I've ever caught in my life. The judge was just a little hard on me, you know?
How long did you serve for marijuana?
He gave me 6 years and suspended 5 of it. So I only
6 years?
Yes, for possession of
how
marijuana.
much marijuana?
Also, bro,
It was a pound, you know what I'm saying? So my
really
charge was
appreciate
possession of 1 to
a
10 pounds,
follow.
but it didn't matter if I had
I'm
1
gradually
pound or
trying to
9 and a
build
half.
up.
Was that
Trying to grow a
technically
little
felony then?
community.
Yes,
you
it
get what I'm
is. At the
saying?
time, that was a different time
So,
in my life.
I'd really appreciate
and I
all
was, you know,
follows.
playing loud
All
music,
appreciate it.
drinking,
You know?
driving, doing the
Thank you
most,
for
you
even
know,
tuning
being
in, to be
sloppy with it. I
So
was
you
a-
got pulled over in a
Thank you for
DWI type of
tuning in.
situation, and then they searched the car for
Hope you
weed?
have a good one.
they smelled weed immediately. I just, like I said,
Were you
one,
chiefing it big time?
yeah, I was
Okay.
smoking when they pulled me over. I tried to play it off. I tried to give him my blunt piece and be like, "This all I have, sir." You know, they weren't going for that though. So,
Did that seem absurd that you could be put in a cage for weed?
yes, sir, dude, it changed the course of my life. You know, I had a very practical outlook on life in general. I was a real normal kid. I played sports. I wanted to be a nurse. You know, so it's like that.
Can you no longer work for a hospital now?
No, I couldn't get a job in Walmart once I got out of prison.
You can't even get a job in Walmart?
No, I was trying to show my little brother a different way. You know, like the lifestyle that we had got into, it was based off circumstance. And that's my history in Rapid City, essentially. A lot of people know me out here for like sports and stuff, but like
What'd you play?
I played football, basketball, I ran track, you know.
We head next to I Am Legacy, an organization focused on empowering Native people and helping ex-cons rebuild their lives. Founder Eric Brainswhite invited us to a roundtable discussion led by former inmates to tackle the tough
That's
issue
good.
of
At least they're trying to
incarceration
build up
among
back
Native
the
men.
community.
Like you can't tell by looking at me or anything, you know. But I used to do the gang thing, and
If I was a Hollywood movie director looking for the role of like scary guy in the
That nigga, yo,
You
the
got-
Great Khalid, bro, that nigga. If I seen it, bro, if I seen a nigga like the Great Khalid walking up to me and saying, "Run your shit," I'm running my shit, gun or not. I'm not gonna lie. If that nigga came up to me, I'm running my shit, and that's just the end of that. Like, I ain't even gonna try
I
to
left
compete, bro.
everything I've ever
I'm not even
known
trying to
in my
compete.
life that I was good at and entered a life
I don't even know
where
if
I
I
didn't
said
know
name.
anything. I
But yeah,
changed.
that tall ass
Yeah,
nigga.
I never planned to be 50 years old ever. I thought I would be
Nigga gonna grab you by your skull and really,
pass away way before that, you know. The
I'm good.
younger you experience these violent things, it increases the likelihood of you repeating them in this community. That's why we focus on the youth. But, one of the things that to help these guys, you know, kind of redirect their aggression a little bit.
Yeah.
So you come in here, tire them out a little bit, put them on the weight, healthy choices, healthy options. We also do drug court. This is where we offer AA, NA, things like that in here. And we know about that life. We've been there. That's why we care. And there is a way out. We found it. And that's all we're trying to show these young brothers.
If I see your shirt, Healing with Conviction, what does that mean to you?
That I'm coming with the truth. You know, I've lived it, been there, done that, and went through a lot of the struggles here. So I'm trying to heal with that conviction, and also with me being incarcerated as well. I was 18 years old. I shot at some people here in town, and at age 18, I was sentenced to 12 years in the South Dakota State Penitentiary. They shot at my family.
So
Drove
you
around
were
looking for
original
them,
young
and
nigga. All right,
4th of
gotcha,
July
gotcha.
1996, I retaliated.
You have the most gangster Hello Kitty tattoo I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, so
Can you tell me about that?
So I have a special needs daughter.
Okay.
So a lot of this is for her, you know. So like I have the wheelchair there for her. She loves Mickey Mouse. The don't count the days, make the days count. When we found out that she has a rare brain disorder, they told us she wouldn't see her first birthday. So we marked the date when we were told that. And
That was in
grateful today
2011?
Yeah, grateful today she's 13. My first son, I wasn't there, incarcerated. I missed his birth, and you know just wasn't in the relationship, you know, there. And we meet my wife, and with Alejandra, our daughter with special needs, I learned to embrace that. You know, I needed to fully protect her. For me, quitting drinking is what helped to be able to get up if she's having seizures, to be able to get up, you know, at a drop of a hat to assist her or assist my wife in her cares.
For me, it was the murder of my brother. He was down there at the Teddy Sports Bar and he was shot and killed. Calling me and asking me to come hang out with him.
I'm sorry, not to laugh at your dead brother, but what the fuck is that sign?
At the bar, and I went down
in her cares.
For me, it was the murder of my brother. He was down there.
There's really gang violence in South Dakota? That shit is still blowing me. I'm not gonna lie. And what the fuck is that sign? Is that a moose?
Teddy Sports Bar and he was shot and killed.
Me not going out
Calling
there.
me and asking me to come hang out with him at the bar, and I went down there to go see what he was doing. And as I was walking towards him, I heard a gunshot go off, and then my cousins told me it was my brother, my little brother, and it's just ever since then, after the past 3 years, I've just been getting incarcerated in and out of jail. I'm using my
trying to spin back
past
for his
as a
brother.
tool to help better these children. Adults can't teach an old dog new tricks, but we can save these kids. And by saving these kids, we can save this community.
Did about 18 years in prison.
That's a long time.
Where I grew up, Dakota Homes, in the hood out here, it was kind of almost like the expectation at some point. You know, hey, you might end up going to prison. You know, from our neighborhood, is drug and alcohol related. Every single felony, every single charge.
So non-violent offender.
Non-violent, all non-violent. I'm a 9-time felon.
9 times? Nigga, the first 3 times you didn't learn? Nigga said 9 times. Holy shit.
I'm the youth navigator now.
How'd you get here, though?
In 6th grade, I got in some trouble at school. You know, Eric used to be the diversion coordinator here in Pennington County, so I was his first ever youth to go to Legacy.
What'd you get into as a 6th grader?
A fight. This little kid called me a name, and I have gay uncles. It was a gay slur.
I think I can guess what you're thinking of.
Yeah, and I reached in my locker to grab my backpack, and he slammed the locker door closed on my hand. I reached up with my left hand and I slammed his face against the locker, and I grabbed him up by his backpack straps and threw him across the hallway. I started kicking him while he was on the ground, and that's how I met Eric, and I've been coming back ever since. I was like 11 or 12.
Now he's 16.
Giant companies.
At least he's trying to convert him to doing better with his life. I respect that. To make sure like he doesn't go down the wrong path. I'll always respect, like, you feel me? People trying to do better for themselves and shit like that.
Hey, man.
Long ass socks though, OG.
Good to see you, man. Yeah, we legacy. We're deep up there, the homies.
Yeah.
We
I
got
respect that.
everybody
Bro,
from.
on some real shit though. No. Like, on some real shit though. If I seen the niggas how they look over there and they would have told me they from South Dakota. Let me shut my bitch ass up.
Every click in town.
I respect that for sure, because there's a lot of people that, you know what I'm saying,
South
older
Dakota?
folks that lead the youth astray.
I feel you, bro.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like they don't know no better when they're that young.
Nah,
like
man.
we grow up in the shit we see, like we think it's normal, you feel me? Then you grow up, you have your own mind now, and it's
you know
like,
what? I want you guys to know how important you are to our people, man.
Word.
We don't need you wasting your lives on dumb shit, man.
Word.
You know what I mean? Don't get caught up doing dumb shit, man. But statistics say.
Put your time into that.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, sir.
Right there.
Yeah,
Right there, man.
What does that mean?
Hey, tell them what it means. No, it's from Sundance.
Ceremony.
Oh, where you put the
Beer scene.
Yep.
Sundance ceremony is basically a women appreciation ceremony. We're showing appreciation to the women because the women get their blood every month, and like Queens of Sleep. That's our way of Queens of Sleep. Even going into Ilipi. Ilipi stands for a sweat lodge. You go in there and pray. You're going in there to be cleansed. You know, cleanse what you be doing out here. You know, all those gangs and drugs out here because there's not much opportunities for youth out here.
That is another factor.
You, bro.
Oh, this is my little brother. He passed away in 2022.
I heard about that, bro.
Yeah,
Sorry,
man. He passed away in 2022 due to gun violence. That was our first show we ever were gonna have in Eagle Butte. It was gonna be a great turnout, you know. There was nothing but unchis and kids out there. There's free food, you know. Like you never really see like 50 people out there for the openers, but that first person I was out there, there's like 50 plus people showing love, you know. We were gonna go on last, and there was a boy that was threatening to shoot the show months before, and we didn't really take it serious, you know. We didn't even reply to his threats or anything like that, but it came down to
I'll give them that. They might get active because only hunting
the same bag on that he's.
If you know, you know. They're keeping their head on the swivel. I respect it.
And with a mask on.
I ain't a gangster.
In 90-degree weather, you know. So I came and I tried to speak with him because I know what he was saying. And when I came and tried to talk to him, he got real abrasive.
I need you to understand the seriousness of this. I'm pussy. You're not catching me in the hood on no block. But I understand keep your head on the swivel, so respect. They really do be going through shit.
Was like, why are you trying to check me? Get away from me, boom. And I'm like, look, man. And I grabbed his bag and I pulled it to me. I felt his gun and I said, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And he's like, just get off me, get away from my bag. I don't want to freak everybody out and be like, hey, he got a gun. So whenever security comes up to me, I say, hey, man, he has a gun. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I felt it. So he tried to escort dude away. Dude basically said, hey, I'm coming back. I'm shooting up this whole show. I look around, like I said, there's nothing but elders and kids, you know. My family's come all the way from Colorado to come see us. I'm like, we got to do something. And that's what the dude asked. He's like, please stop him. There's police around there and everything. The police didn't do shit. I had to pick my brother up after he got shot, you know. That's another just testament as far as where we don't really rely on the police, you know. That's vigilantes. Like the definition of a vigilante is somebody that gets justice by their own means, but while not involved in the law. And it's that bottom line that they don't look out for us. They say they're supposed to protect and serve. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when my brother got killed, I had to pick him up. I had to everything, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
You can come see us, man, because I got some opportunities for you, man.
Yeah?
Hey, I lost my little brother, too. He got shot and killed down at the Teddy Sports Bar.
Oh, word. Hey, bro.
Yeah,
hey, rest his soul, bro. That's what I'm saying. That shit like that rocks the city.
This happened to every generation, though. When I was a youngster, my best homie got shot in the face at my house right up the hill right here, man.
Word.
In the hood, you know, it changed us forever, man.
It's in a suburban area on the west side or something. Something goes down, they're there like that. Why do you think that is?
Because we're disposable.
You know what I'm saying?
All we get is each other.
Is it Rapid City PD or native police that is in this area?
Rapid City.
There ain't no natives on the
There's no natives on the Rapid City police force? What percentage of the city is native?
At least a quarter.
Yeah.
You can't be in the position where someone abuses it with their power, and you can't be in the position where you abuse someone with the power that you're given. Because you can be kind, but never try to be submissive. And you can be strong, but you can never be cruel.
We have a present for you, Benny. Big dog's got to eat.
Yes, sir.
You spin.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to my game. You know what I mean?
Hey, yes, sir. I was born with, but that's another story for the poor kids who always wanted some Jordans. Mamas couldn't afford them. Now they out there on the corner with drama from law enforcement. I can tell you about the horrors of wishing you was aborted. But since this life is a game, you ain't finna see me forfeit. I'm winning till I can't play, but even then I be scoring. There's some shit that's more important than them hoes that's gonna be swarming once they find out you recorded. Where are them hoes before then, huh?
It wasn't bad though. I'm hating. It wasn't bad.
Moms that have lost
I'm hating.
It
wasn't bad.
This is gonna be kind of a tough conversation. Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Good.
So we're covering sort of the streets, the gang life, and also just gun violence at a young age. What have you seen as a mom in Rapid City?
I've seen a lot of violence and a lot of killings. Not so much when I was growing up. There was, here and there, nothing like today.
You think it's worse now?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
There wasn't as much guns back when we were growing up at all. You know, everybody has a gun these days.
Are the guns in South Dakota in the hood, are a lot of them legal or illegal guns? You guys know?
Illegal.
Both.
Yeah, well now they've made it easier to get guns, so, you know, both, yeah, I would say.
I guess, so what, are there any stories that can illustrate, you know, what you've seen or what you've heard in the area that talk about gun violence and things?
Both of my children died from a gun.
Oh,
My son
shit.
always had a gun. My older son, he always carried a gun, but he's not anymore. He's 31 and a dad now.
What brought him out of the gang life?
His kids.
Now, gangs can be really attractive for a young man, right? Why do you think that is? And do you think it actually brings any benefit to their life?
I have my oldest son, who I kept in every sport available. He didn't have time to do any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we hit high school, and that attraction was just immediate. You know, he started then missing school and then running and getting in trouble. Whereas with CJ, he was kind of, you know, I moved to Mitchell, moved all my kids there. They gradually came back here. They didn't like it there. So he was around it all the time. And to me, it seems like he kind of just, you know, he still got his fights and ran around, but, you know, he wasn't kept from it like I did with my older son. And I feel like he kind of, you know, kept himself out of trouble, although, you know, ultimately he died from suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And then also my daughter, you know,
Damn.
right there, but, you know, supposedly she was accidentally shot by another guy there with a gun.
I feel like teenagers, when they want to get into trouble, they find a way to do it.
Right.
Even if you have strict parents. I know firsthand, I had strict parents in my friend group, and
One thing I will say, the stricter the parent, shit, my dumb ass. No, let me shut my dumb ass up. Never mind.
we still found ways to get into trouble. But do you think games offer anything?
I was really gonna drop some gems on y'all niggas, but
like when you sign up for that lifestyle, you're pretty much signing up for incarceration or death, or you might be rich at certain points when you make a play, but for the most part, you're gonna keep losing that and have setbacks. Did you think it brought anything positive to your son's life?
No, and he had a good home life. You know, he had me. He didn't actually have his biological father in his life much, but once I got married, he had, you know, stepdad, and he did not have a family home life.
I know, like if you ask like hardcore Republicans, they'll say like the reason gangs happen is the absence of fathers in the household. What do you think about that?
Well, I was lucky enough to have a dad. Like I said, my older kids, their dad was never really around. I know it makes a difference, obviously, but it seems just to be so common now that I don't think most of us that have grown up on the north side really give it much of a thought. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else.
It just become kind of normal and ingrained. There's a lot of young men, some of them with shiesties on. What kind of advice would you give to them as they're pursuing some of their options in life?
Well, you know, and I've gotten to have a lot of good relationships with a lot of my kids as their friends since they passed away. I see things a lot differently now. I mean, I would give anything to have my kids back, and, you know, obviously I would never wish this on anybody, but I do think it's humbled me in a way that I can relate to them more. I understand them more. I think a lot of them feel comfortable talking to me, and I think they, you know, feel better talking with me just because they feel closer to CJ, because my son, you know, I have a lot of friends, and I would just, you know, tell them to set an example for my kids that are here, and let them see what they can do with themselves, you know, because that would make them very proud.
Is there high poverty rates in Rapid City?
Yes,
definitely.
High.
Okay, because I think that's one of the magic questions. How do you bring economic opportunities back to an area like this? We've had so many jobs in this country go overseas and never come back. So, like, to me, that's the thing, is like, how do you reverse the wheel that is spinning?
I think Kenny is a good one for this question. He owns this business, and he's hired several people. And he might have some input on that, just because he's given people multiple chances and still does.
I was, I guess, one of the lucky ones out of the whole group of guys I was with. I mean, I was considered one of the original TBC guys.
That's one of the most notorious gangs on the north side?
Yeah.
TBZ is slang for the boys, and this is the name of one of the most feared native gangs in the country. And with roots that run deep in South Dakota and Minnesota, TBZ has both power in the streets and the penitentiary. Captain Tony Harrison, chief investigator for Pennington County Sheriff's Office in Rapid City, says that he has seen photos of toddlers dressed in gang attire and that it's not uncommon to see boys as young as 8 and 10 throwing up gang signs. Eric and Kenny were among the founding members of TBZ. Use their lessons of their dark past to try and create a hopeful future for the youth.
So they got, yeah. So you got my brother, and there were several of us. It started out with like over a dozen of us. Out of all of them, I mean, almost every one of them went to prison but me.
How did you avoid prison?
Well, I think, you know, one of the things that stuck in my head around that time was my mom. My mom started going to meetings. She started going to AA meetings. And at that time, I used to look at her like, oh man, she must be really messed up. She's got to go to meetings. She's got to do extra things to stay sober. And my whole thing was backwards that was when I was in my drinking time too. And for me, it was like, that was one of the things I came back to when I did sober up. And it was getting in a relationship at that time that helped me kind of come out of that rut. And then kids, that was the other thing. And that kind of opened my eyes up to my drinking and my drugging. And one thing led to another. And next thing you know, I've been doing this for over 30 years. And that's what keeps me motivated, is my work. And throughout all that whole time, I've stumbled a few times. I went back out there and tried it again. That lasted a short time, but I knew what was better at that time. I guess that's the core of it for me, is getting some kind of a structure in your life to go to, your positive. And for me, it's meetings, my business, my relationships. You know, today it's better, but it took me a long time to get to this point.
It's amazing how many times it can take doing the same shit over and over to learn the lesson properly.
Yeah.
Did this thing say Dallas sex trafficking? W did the Tommy G. Holy. Hey man, I never knew shit was going on in South
Folks,
Dakota.
hope you enjoyed this episode. You want to watch another? Here. You want to subscribe? Over here. See you next week.